Welcome to the Beyond You podcast, where we have real conversations about healing, trusting yourself again, and building the kind of relationships that actually feel good. I'm Samantha, and if you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, like you're doing all the right things but still feeling disconnected, you're in the right place. Because here we go beyond the surface, beyond the hurt, beyond the patterns that keep you stuck. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's get into it. For so long, I thought success was something I had to chase, something that had to look a certain way, fit a certain mold, get the degree, get the job, get married, have the house. But what happens when you do all of that and you still feel like something's missing? What happens when the success you were striving for doesn't actually feel like success at all? Last year, I had to step back and really define what success meant for me. Not what society told me, not what my family expected, not what friends expected, not what I thought I should be doing, but what success felt like for me. And let me tell you, what I discovered changed everything. So, in today's episode, we're talking about breaking free from the grind, letting go of outdated definitions of success, and creating a life that actually aligns with you. Because real success, it's not about how much you do, it's about how deeply you live. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Beyond You podcast. I'm your host, Samantha, and today we're talking about something that's been weighing heavy on so many hearts in my community, this constant pressure to grind, to hustle, to prove ourselves worthy through endless work. You know what made me think about this topic? I noticed a pattern just so I've been hearing within my sessions and just within my community. So many brilliant, capable women pushing themselves to exhaustion, wearing their busyness like a badge of honor. And I had to ask, who told us that our worth was tied to our productivity? This just reminds me of our last episode, the permission slip. Whew, that was a deep episode. If you're finished with this one, check that one out. Because who said success had to cost us our peace? Because I remember when I was so caught in this cycle myself, this constant drive to prove I deserved my seat at the table, thinking if I just worked harder, longer, did more, somehow I'd finally feel enough. And when I tell you, y'all, that's not success. That's survival mode dressed up in a power suit. Okay, so I wanted to talk about first the grind mindset that we tend to have. So let's talk about why this grind culture really looks like in our lives. Because a lot of times we're feeling guilty when we're not productive. You're measuring your worth by your to-do list. Thinking rest is something you have to earn, which we know you do not. Believing success only comes through struggle. And the biggest sign you've caught in the grind, that you've been caught in this grind, you feel anxious when you're not doing something, right? And I know that, remember the time before where if I watched a movie longer than 2 hours, I felt like I was restless. I would keep moving around trying to figure out what I need to do next, and it just felt like a lot. And so, because somewhere along the way, we were taught that hustle equals worth, that if we're not exhausted, we're not working hard enough. The signs you're caught in the grind, you might feel anxious when you're not doing something. Right? Your idea of self-care is answering emails in a bubble bath. You're always available because that's what successful people do. Your rest is really just recovery to work more. I need you to really pay attention to this because I used to think being available 24/7 meant I was dedicated to success. But here's what I learned. Being constantly available means you're never fully present anywhere, especially not with yourself. I had to ask myself, what's the point of building something if I lose myself in the process? And I want you to reflect on this. Have you ever felt guilty for resting? Do you feel like you always have to be on to be successful? So this is when we're going to go into the success tax, I like to call it, because let's get real about what this grind mentality is actually costing us, because it does come at a price. It does a physical cost, right? We're chronic fatigue that coffee can't fix. We're stress-related health issues a lot of the times. We don't even realize it's related to stress. We just think we're being sick, but a lot of it, we're putting so much stress on our bodies. That constant tension in your shoulders, sleep that's never quite restful, like those are key signs, especially when it comes to ourselves. Now, emotionally, the emotional price we take on, guilt when we're not producing, anxiety about falling behind, the weight of never feeling enough, distance from what truly matters. It takes quite a bit of toll when it comes to just worrying about what everyone else's definition of success is. Also, the spiritual drain that it has on us, the disconnection from your purpose, loss of joy in your achievements, forgetting who you are beyond what you do. Right? There is more to you than exactly what you do for work. And a lot of times, especially in the area, I'm currently in the area, in the DMV area, that we're so focused on what we do versus who are you behind the roles you play. So I realized for me that I was grinding so hard to prove my worth at times that I forgot what actually made me happy. I was chasing gold stars in every area, trying to be the perfect friend, the perfect daughter, the perfect entrepreneur, have the perfect relationship. But at the end of the day, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was just feeling tired. So what I want us to do is I want you to be able to redefining success, but in an authentic way, because I want it to be match exactly what it fits for you, because it fits differently for everybody. So let's kind of go into what success really looks like when you're not letting society write your definition, because here's what I have to tell you. Success isn't just about promotion or that number in your bank account. It's about how you feel when your head hits the pillow at night. So let's get into what success really looks like when you strip away what society says. So I want you to be able to ask yourself, what kind of success actually feels fulfilling to me? I know it's going to be really hard to do this all at once. So I know for me, and I'll give you examples below that come personal examples of what I'm doing, but I broke it up in different areas what success look like, because success in my work is different what success looks like in relationships, or what it looks like in my home life, or my relationship with my parents, right, or my mother. So it would look different in all different areas. So I broke mine up, and you can break yours up whatever feels right for you and whatever role that you feel like you or what area you feel like you're playing at currently, right? And so I want you to ask yourself that. And then what roles do I want to play in my life on my terms, right? So I really want you to think about what areas that looks like for you. Because I know for me, I had to sit down and ask myself, what kind of mother do I want to be? What kind of work actually excites me? What kind of relationships bring me peace? And when I stopped chasing other people's definition of success, I finally started feeling successful. Because you know what, and I want to think about it, because you know what really made me question that definition of success is when I was realizing that, when I was talking about earlier, just kind of proving my worth, and I really forgot what brings me joy, and so I didn't want that to be the point where it feels like I'm having it together all the time, because I'm human just like everybody else. And so some of the wake up signs is, when's the last time you did something just because it made you happy? Right? It's just going to wake up call to just ask yourself these questions to see if it's something that, if you're having success in your own terms, are based on other people's definitions. Right? Can you remember what you actually enjoy outside of achieving? Do you know who you are when you're not being productive? And what would success feel like if nobody was watching? And I want you to be able to write these things down if you can, or while I'm asking them, just kind of think about it. Think about it, about what that actually looks like. And I'll give you my own examples as well. But before, I want to just kind of break up the new success blueprint that I want you to do. And then I'll give you my examples on kind of what I wrote down. So if you want to do this with me, feel free, grab your coffee, grab your pen and notebook, and let's do this together. Or you can be able to think about it if you're on your way to work, or, in a space where you're not able to write down right now, we can do that as well. Like, I just really want you guys to be on your mind. And so in relationships, instead of being available 24/7, saying yes to everything, proving your worth through giving, I want you to be able to choose being present when you're present, saying yes when it genuinely aligns with you, and showing up as your authentic self. Okay, Okay. And so that's within relationships. So feel free, write down and take the time to write that, what that looks like for you in a relationship, what success looks like for you. You can put it in a list format or just kind of write out whatever comes. If you need to pause, feel free to do so. In personal growth, instead of constant self improvement, never feeling good enough, comparing your journey to others, what I want you to choose is intentionally evolution. Right? So I want you to choose intentional evolution, celebrating where you are and creating your own metrics of growth. And that's going to be personalized to you. Now let's get into your daily life, right? And these are different areas I'm giving examples for. I'll give you probably different ones for me in my areas. So instead of rushing through your days in your daily life, instead of measuring success by tasks completed or living for the weekend, how about you choosing to finding moments of peace? Choosing measuring success by peace maintained, right? You know, when we work together, my overall goal is helping you get back to peace every day. So I want you to be able to be in a space where you're fully at peace and creating a life you don't need to escape from. I used to think success was what society told me it was. Get married, have kids, stay in the marriage no matter what. Get the house, whether it's climb the ladder. Even when it wasn't working for me, I felt like I had to push through. That's just what you're supposed to do, right? I think a lot of the times we feel this way, that we feel that we're just supposed to do these things because it's kind of pushed on us, and whether we see in families, what's kind of told, and this is how you succeed in society, and just with influencing and all that's going on. But then you have to be able to stop and think to ourselves, if I got to define success for myself, what would it actually look like? So here I'm going to give you my examples, but I want you to be able to take this time to write for yourself what it looks like for you. So for me, when I talk about or think about success as a mother, for me, I realized I didn't just want to be a provider, right? Because I know that, you know, working as I do to be able to take care of everything, you know, with the kids, but I wanted to be an emotionally present mother. Right? I wanted to be the kind of mom who creates emotional safety for my kids, who guides them without controlling them. And that doesn't work for everybody, because I know when you choose to be a certain type of mother, whether it's a disciplinarian mother, you know, you have a different type of factor versus someone who's emotional mother, or someone who is a collaboration or more like free spirited and do what you want type of person. Like, you get to decide how that looks like. And I know there's everyone a certain way to be, but there's things that go with it, right? So especially because me being emotionally present mother, that means when my kid is saying something that he has an idea about something, I'm listening to his idea. I'm not just like, I'm the mom, I know best and everything. I talk with him about it. I kind of make it on what is it that, you know, you need to kind of cultivate that love, that guidance and support. So that meant redefining success not by how much I did for them, but by how present I was with them, which requires me having to work a little bit less to be there for them, or requires me having experiences with them and to be able to enjoy emotionally present, or having talks at night that a lot of times parents would be hard to talk about, whether it's talking about like his friends having crushes, or he doesn't know when he wants to have a crush, or maybe he has, you know, will he ever get a girlfriend? Like those types of conversations, you know, but it leads to him just kind of saying his mind a lot more, which other people might see it as like he's talking back, but he's just saying, to me, is he's saying his own opinion. And so it's just different for everybody, right? Not everyone will agree with this, but that's success for me. That's success as a mother. And for example, for success in my work, I used to measure success by either how many people that I had, or how full my calendar was, or how busy that it seemed. But I had to shift early on. Now, success in my work means I had to be so just in tune with the people I work with. Before, I was kind of taking quite a bit on, but I have to have this rapport with the person. So I want to make sure that the person that comes and sees me, that they feel seen, heard, and valued. And sometimes there's personalities that don't necessarily match with mine, and that's okay. And so whether that's in therapy, my programs, or even just in videos or in memberships or whatever I'm putting out, I want people to know that they matter when they step into my space, and that's more important to me than the numbers of the people that I get. So I think it's for you, it's allowing yourself to think about, okay, what is success and work for you? Does it look like climbing the ladder? For some people, like what's a priority to you is being able to experience and enjoy. So a job that you can just do what you got to do and come home and have vacations, that is success for you when it comes to work. So really just determining for you and what this means. And lastly, when it comes to success in my relationships, and let me be real, like I'm still learning a lot of the times each day and just what types of relationships kind of fit within what I want, right? And I want you to think about what relationships that you want around you. And as I'm continuing defining this one thing that I know is that if I want peace, I have to think about, am I choosing people that bring me peace, or am I choosing these ambivalent relationships where it's like, do I want to be in it? Do I not want to be in it? And I have to think about, if I want peace, why was I choosing relationships that drained me from the start? Right? Like, I think a lot of times when we have people pleasing tendencies, we're in relationships where it just feels okay, but it doesn't feel like it's adding to you at all. And it just ends up being emotionally draining or not knowing why. So it's one of those of having to sit with that. I had to really ask myself, what does a successful, fulfilling relationship actually look like for me? Not just what I've been told it should be. So one of the biggest shifts for me was realizing that I wasn't failing, that I was outgrowing the version of success that was never mine to begin with. And that's okay, and I think it's understanding for you that's okay, because there's different versions of ourselves that we really have to pay attention and allow ourselves to know that we got one day at a time, we're going to figure out just what that is for us. It's okay not to know yet. Yet is the main word when it comes to that. And so next I want to talk about just the practical peace practices, right? That can actually make the shift from just that grinding mentality to just being able to just really fully thrive within your life. And so what I want you to do is I want you to do the success audit. Okay. And so you can be able to write this down if you choose, or just kind of think about that. I want you to ask yourself, whose definition of success am I chasing? Okay. What would success feel like if I designed it? Where am I trading peace for performance? Right. These are some questions to think about. And I'm going to kind of give you some things that continue, just with this work, right? And so next is the permission practice. Give yourself permission to take the scenic route sometimes. Sometimes give yourself permission to, and I talked about this a lot in the last episode of Permission Slip. Sometimes it's allowing yourself to enjoy the process and not just the outcome. Or maybe it's something where you define success by how you feel, not just what you achieve. Right? And then the last time, I just want to go into the peace priorities I want you to really think about. I want you to start noticing what actually fills you up versus drain you. Or where you feel most authentic and alive. Like really thinking about what comes up for you as you kind of think about this. Or what success looks like in your body, not just your mind. And just what changed everything for me was realizing that true success isn't about doing more. It's about being more aligned with who you really are. It's about creating space for joy, not just achievement. It's about building a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Samantha, I still have goals. I still want to achieve things. And I want you to hear this clearly. This isn't about losing your ambition. It's not about that at all. It's about aligning your ambition with your authenticity. So how do you allow ourselves to stay powerful while going through this process or going through this moment where we're really putting in the work, right? I want you to set aligned goals. So what actually matters to your heart, not just what society says matters, but what actually matters to your heart. For you, it could be It could be your work, it could be your kids, it could be just relationships, it could be just kind of being in touch with yourself and seeing what that looks like. It could be so many different things. And think about also like what success feels like peace. Like what actually feels like peace, so it doesn't feel like you're just nothing's ever enough and keep going and going and going, but what success feels like peace for you. And thinking about where can you achieve without sacrificing yourself. Because I really want you to start creating this success rituals. So instead of checking emails first thing in the morning or working through lunch or always being on, how about we choose morning moments of peace, regular rest intervals, boundaries that protect your energy, right? And then know that this is where just the community becomes everything, just you showing up every week here, because also stepping from that grind mindset that takes support. And it takes having people around you understand that success can look different, who celebrate your peace as much as your achievements. And so know that we do this in our Beyond You collective. We're writing these success stories together, because I'm able to be there, fully there with you. And that's when you get more faster access to asking questions, for me, and also having tools within the program as well to really help you strive and doing the best that you want, and having the people that's going to be there for you. Because here's what I know for sure: when one woman gives herself permission to find success differently, she creates space for others to do the same. So what we're really talking about is just adult 2.0 here, right? Like things that nobody has taught us or talked about, how to maintain peace while pursuing your goals, what success looks like when it's aligned with your soul, how to thrive without burning out, creating achievement that actually feels good. So I really want you to start having practical steps for this journey. So something like the daily peace practice is start your day asking yourself, what would make today successful for my peace? Or how can I achieve while staying aligned? Where can I choose ease over struggle? And when you find yourself creeping back into that the success mindset, right? That's creeping back in, then having to achieve. I want you to pause and check in with your body. And I do quite a bit of this in my program, my membership as well, the emotional processing part that definitely take advantage of, while you're actually learning how to be there for yourself, because that is the key in kind of creating that healing for yourself. Ask if you're choosing from peace or pressure. Right? Like really staying in tune with you, because remember, your worth isn't in your productivity. So I want you to just get an alignment check for yourself. Does this goal feel like freedom or force? These are regular questions to ask yourself. Am I choosing this for growth or validation? And what would success feel like if nobody was watching? Just kind of circling back into that question for ourselves. So this journey beyond the grind, it's about so much more than just changing how you work. It's about changing how you live, how you love, how you show for yourself every single day. So your Beyond You challenge for this week, I want you to notice where you're still grinding. And I want you to choose one area to bring more ease. And then practice defining success by peace, not just productivity. And then lastly, I want you to document how it feels to choose alignment over achievement. So if you're ready to go deeper with this work, make sure to tune in every single week, to follow, subscribe, to like. So I know that you really enjoyed this episode. It helps you to know just what you want to hear from me. If you have any things that you want to hear more about, please let me know down in the comments so I make sure to check those and kind of reply to you guys. And if you want a community that supports redefinition, please come join us at Beyond You Collective. We're creating a space where your peace is celebrated as much as your achievements, your growth doesn't require grinding, and your success stories gets written on your terms. So I thank you for just being here just with me. Know that the grind is not your glory, your peace is not a privilege, and your success doesn't have to come at the cost of your soul. You can achieve and still breathe. You can succeed and still sleep, and you can win and still be well, okay? So until then, keep choosing peace over pressure, alignment over achievement. And remember, you're not just going beyond the grind, you're going beyond you. Connect with me on TikTok, Instagram, Moving Beyond You, or I am Samantha.a for Instagram. And you have daily inspiration and real talk about redefining success in your terms. All right, guys. Talk to you next week.